Okay, so hello and welcome to the next video instalment of FPJ's Healthy Profits series. And I'm with Naturopathic chef and founder of Sustainable Kitchen Consultants, Julie Cleijne. She's joining us today from a farm in Worcestershire where she works. It's called The Fold. And as far as I'm aware, it's an organic farm, cafe and centre for health and sustainable living. So hi Julie, tell us a bit more about The Fold.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, there's an organic farm here. We've got about 2 acres of growing land, including a couple of polytunnels, and there's a farm shop on site, and behind me here is the cafe, where we supply all organic produce, or as much as we can, and largely from the farm here and other local suppliers. And so yeah, I'm here overseeing the farm to fork strategy, if you like, just trying to take everyone on the journey of understanding eating seasonal, organic, British grown produce as much as possible. So yeah, it's really fun.
Brilliant. And what veg have you got in the polytunnels at the moment? What are you growing? What's coming this season?
Yeah, so we've just had some amazing British grown broad beans, and we made some wonderful guacamole to the surprise of our customers, because obviously people always associate guacamole with avocado, but we're on the journey of how to use British grown veg in these ways. And we have some amazing beetroot and new season carrots as well. So the other week we made some beetroot and carrot falafel wraps, so some rainbow falafel wraps with some salad. And then next week we've got some amazing courgette and some aubergine, actually, that's grown locally. And so we're going to have an aubergine burger and probably some aubergine bacon. Not quite bacon, I guess, so that we're going to make, and some courgette fritters on the menu as well. And we have other things that we do, lovely quiche and our signature fold salad. So yeah, it's good.
Wow, it sounds delicious. I'm going to have to make a trip sometime.
Yes, you should.
But yeah, what you were saying there about seasonality and focusing on British produce, that leads us in quite nicely to what we're going to be talking about today. So in FPJ's latest issue, it's called Going Global, and it explores the opportunities and challenges for UK suppliers 6 months on from Brexit. So there are lots of features on the UK's trade relationships around the world. But while Britain's fresh produce importers have been looking to shore up their supply chains, and the government's been negotiating trade deals with various countries, there could also be opportunities to use, source and perhaps produce more British produce. And this could clearly have a positive impact on the environment and the UK's food security. So do you see an increased appetite among consumers for British grown fresh produce? And do you think that businesses could be doing more to source and provide more British veg options?
Yeah, I think it's a really amazing opportunity, because now more than ever, people have a bit more of an understanding of what's seasonal in the UK, because during lockdown they either started growing their own, as we know, a lot of people were doing that, or they were shopping more at places like here, like farm shops, and for a long time, because supply chains were disrupted during lockdown, we had to just buy what was available. And so I think there is more of a renewed understanding of what is UK and what is seasonal. So I think it's a fantastic time for companies to really optimize that. And in my view, I think people love seeing videos of things being planted and grown, and so I think it's an amazing opportunity to take people on this whole root to stem journey of growing, because, you know, root to stem eating in terms of plant-based and healthier trends is a really big trend. It has been for several years now, and I think that's a really great thing to tap into that consumer interest on that.
One thing you mentioned in your latest column for FBJ was the success of farm shops and farm veg box schemes during lockdown, and that, I mean, that ties into to local and seasonal eating trends. And do you think that these businesses will be able to sustain their popularity as lockdown starts to ease and people start to return to more normal shopping habits?
I think so, because, you know, as I've said in several of my articles, I think, you know, now more and more people are understanding their purchasing power and the impact that can have on the local economy and the planet, and also their health, in terms of, you know, buying things when they are at their freshest and seasonal, so that, you know, it's not stored for months and months. And so, you know, they're starting to understand that more. And just this morning I saw a report that community supported agriculture, you know, which is largely where people do subscribe to a veg box scheme, say for, you know, a local farm. The membership has really increased over lockdown for community supported agriculture, which I think is a great sign. So I hope it does continue. And I also, because I think that the other reason people engage with the veg box scheme as well is people really engage more in cooking at home, right? And so, you know, it was almost like the ready, steady cook. If you know that, Fred, if you're old enough to remember that. Yeah, okay. You know, the ready, steady cook concept, where, you know, you don't know what you're going to get. So it's like, oh, so you have to get creative. And I know a lot of veg box schemes have been doing recipe cards that accompany their veg box scheme, and they certainly try and do that here at the Fold as well. So yeah, I hope it will sustain. I guess time will tell, won't it? Yeah.
No, absolutely. I did a recent interview with Deepak Ravindran, the co-founder of Oddbox, and he was talking about the work that they do to engage with consumers and improve their awareness of food waste, and where the provenance of the veg in their boxes. And it seems like there's a big kind of consumer engagement and consumer education piece going on at Oddbox, and indeed with other veg box schemes, I think. Do you think that is quite important to a business like that it's not just about the vegetables, but it's also about the kind of stories that they're telling behind them?
100%, and I think definitely the food waste story as well, because again, you know, people understand that the challenge with food waste going to landfill and that not being good for the environment, but equally from an economic point of view, you know, people want to be able to, you know, get the most out of their veg purchase, and so understanding how to reduce food waste and is really key. Yeah, and how to, it's like what I was saying, root to stem eating is this concept of, you know, so for example, if you've got, I don't know, beetroot, then you use the beetroot leaves, or if you've got radish, then you use the radish leaves, and, you know, pickle or ferment the radish as it's, you know, getting perhaps beyond its best. So, you know, maximizing the most of it. And so root to stem eating has been a really big trend for a long time. So the more customers understand, you know, how it's grown and what it looks like, and what part of the veg is available to eat and not waste, I think the better for everyone.
No, absolutely. And you were talking at the start about some of the amazing things you're doing with aubergine. That's a product that we discussed in a feature in our last issue, and it seems like its popularity is really taking off, not just in the UK, but other kind of northern and Western European markets, like the Netherlands is a good example. Do you think that aubergine could be the next avocado? Do you think that it could really boom in popularity over the next few years, or is that unrealistic?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's unrealistic at all, because I mean, you know, cauliflower had an amazing popularity boost, didn't it, when people started doing, you know, like roasted cauliflower and cauliflower based pizzas and that kind of thing. So yeah, why not aubergine? The great thing about aubergine is you can either make it crispy, and so I was mentioning that we're going to do some bacon, but equally, you know, when you cook it down, it you know, you can make a dip like a baba ganoush style, you know, Middle Eastern dip as well. So it's so versatile. And it takes on flavors really nicely. So, you know, you can grill it on the barbecue. So yeah, absolutely. I'm all for it. I'm getting hungry thinking about it, actually.
Right, it sounds like they're cooking up the door behind you as well. And just finally, how about opportunities to increase the sort of nutritional value of fresh produce? Nutrition is something that you're quite passionate about. What opportunities are there to make what we already grow and eat a bit better for us?
So I mean, there's a big resurgence in returning to more traditional farming without pesticides, where the soil is king, and you know, holds all the nutrients. So the more growers can, you know, protect their soils, then the more nutrient dense their produce is going to be, because you know, the soil needs to have sufficient nutrients for it to grow a nutritious product. But you know, I mean, there are all sorts of new growing techniques like aeroponics, for example, which is without soil. So lots of trials and things going on around the world, trying to find better solutions to growing and feeding the world as we grow in population, and also as we have more kind of climate issues. But I think, yeah, you know, definitely a move away from pesticides and really protecting the nutrient quality of the soil and the produce is the way forward in that regards. But I know that there are some other things that are happening around the world where they're looking at different breeding of different seeds as well for different crops that might be, say, less pest, more pest resistant, for example.
Yeah. I mean, then we're kind of getting into the debate about gene editing potentially, which is a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, not my area either.
but it sounds like yeah, places like the Fold where you're working at the moment are quite focused on you know, reducing pesticides and the nutritional quality of the veg that you offer.
Oh yeah, zero pesticides here because it's organic, soil association accredited. Yeah, so
okay, well we'll leave it there.